www.29palmswater.net. The board reserves the right to discuss only or take action on any item on the board agenda. Please make sure all your cell phones are silenced or you put a quarter in a jar up here. Cindy, give a roll call, please.
Yes. Director Arthur?
Present.
Director Coghill?
Here.
Director Giannini?
Present.
Director Woods?
Here.
And Director Leeser is absent.
Okay. Carol has asked me to run the meeting tonight, so on her behalf, I will do that. Pledge of Allegiance. Scott, I'm going to call on you again. Got your flag ready.
All right, ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Scott. All right, next on the agenda is additions and deletions to the agenda. And we're going to have one deletion, item number 5, discussion of health benefits for the board of directors. It's only fair that all board members be present. We're missing one. It's highly important. It involves possible public hearings, budget interaction, resolutions, so it's and information. So we're going to table this till next month if we can do that. Okay. Public comments. Please complete a request to be heard. I'm not even going to read it because there's nobody here. Okay, item number 1. Review and adjust board meeting schedule for November and December. John Hunter?
Good afternoon, board members. Typically at this time of year, due to the holidays, the district generally moves November and December's board meetings up 1 week to the third Wednesday of the month. Staff is making the recommendation to move November's meeting to the 20th and moving December's meeting to the 18th, and it will be open for discussion and to vote.
Discussions, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen?
I agree with those dates.
I do too.
Done it every year I've been here.
It's
And
historically,
before.
yeah, historically we do this for the staff at the district. We've been doing it for, I can't remember how long, but
As long as I've been here and longer.
yeah, we've been doing it for many years and we'll probably do it again in the future. That would be just a recommendation, right?
Recommendation, then you guys can vote. All in favor?
We have to approve a no, that's right.
First and second also.
I say we do that.
You gonna move that as a motion?
Yes, I make a motion. I forgot what I was supposed to say.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we table or that we move the November and December board meetings ahead 1 week. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? So ordered. Okay, item number 2. Consider resolution 24-05 adopting the 29 Palms Water District Local Hazard Mitigation Plan.
So back in July, the board approved the district's new local hazard mitigation plan with the new updates. After a few months of plan review check with Cal OES and FEMA, a few minor corrections. Here before you today is resolution 2405 adopting the district's local hazard mitigation plan. It's open for discussion, but obviously staff is looking for approval of resolution with a roll call.
Questions, comments, considerations?
I move to adopt the Twin Palms Water District Local Hazard Mitigation Plan.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. Cindy, would you have a roll call vote, please?
Director Arthur?
Yes.
Director Coghill?
Yes.
Director Woods?
Yes.
Director Giannini?
Aye.
And Director Leeser is absent.
Since there was no discussion on that item, I'm going to assume that the questions were asked and answered.
Yeah, we've discussed it before, I believe.
Okay. Item number 3, consider request for annexation. The aforementioned, or the assessor's parcel number 0634-121-15 and approval of indemnification agreement. General Manager?
Today before you is an indemnification agreement between the 29 Palms Water District and Mr. John D. Rudaminkin. This is the start of the This is the starting agreement to the annexation. for parcel 0634-12115. This identification agreement will also be in the LAFCO application that we intend to bring to the board as long as the surveys and everything are in order next month. Early in 2024, the district was approached regarding a vacant 48-acre parcel that is adjacent to a district pipeline. So it's one lot out of the district boundary, and it is in the sphere of influence. In April of this year, Mr. Rudimenko started the process of purchasing the APN number in question. In doing so, the district provided him a conditional capacity and will serve letter, and that is in the exhibit today. Also in April, at a board meeting, staff and board of directors had discussion about 2 annexation projects, including the private lot parcel in question today. So this was discussed in April's board meeting. In July, the parcel in question was purchased by Mr. Rudimenko with all intentions to start the LAFCO process. And after speaking with LAFCO, the district will file the application for the benefit of the property owner to connect to the district's water service connection. It's open for discussion, but today before you, I believe, on Exhibit C is the identification agreement that staff will be looking for an approval and also be looking for the general manager to execute the agreement with Mr. Rudimenko. And it's open for discussion.
Dr. Woods?
Yes. Do we have an understanding of what the intended use of the parcel is for?
Single-family residence.
Thank you.
Dr. Harper?
I believe we discussed this, but it's been a couple months. So that property does not currently, because it's outside the district, doesn't currently pay a rate to serve. So there will be new fees for connection and all that.
Correct. He does not currently pay water availability assessment that anybody inside the boundary does. He will be subjected to those after the annexation is over. He will also be subjected to annexation per acre parcel fees. He has LAFCO fees. This is a process that's still another couple months out. He's going to be paying close to $20,000 to get annexed into the district.
Any other questions, sir? Dr. Giannini, any questions?
Do we have, I'm not sure exactly where it's at, I forget. Do we have service already out there to him?
Yeah, so the pipeline runs on the south side of his property, east to west, the whole length of the property. His 40 acres, so to complete this process, he has to have a service that goes to his house. If, let's say, for instance, he wasn't adjacent to a pipeline, he would have to do the mainline extension
Right.
before we could do the annexation.
Right.
Or that would be part of the
annexation.
service fees. So he is adjacent to a parcel. This is one of the easier annexations you can do. It's really moving a boundary of the northern eastern part of the district boundary, up by kind of the Dickdale property where the airport is over there.
Not to put you on the spot, but for the benefit of the people that are watching tonight and want to look it up, would you please go to the board and kind of highlight where that
And you
property
guys have it in your board
Yeah,
agenda.
we have it, but the people on the camera don't.
So the 40 acres in question, there's a 40-acre parcel that extends to about here. So the district boundary is going to extend 40 acres and tie back in. It's a vacant land. And again, I think the question about what is the intention, if he did anything but a single-family resident, he would have to go through CEQA and everything. So if it was apartments or commercial or anything like that, so.
And just to clarify, that's the northeast corner of our existing boundary.
Correct. In the Cooper area.
Cooper,
So-
right.
And technically, it's not considered the city. That is the county of San Bernardino, unincorporated.
Unincorporated, right? Thank you, sir, for pointing that out on the map. So,
I have another question.
okay,
So again, is it your understanding, Mr. Schrag, that Mr. John D. Rudimenko is the owner and will be the resident of said project?
He is the owner. On current maps as of July, he purchased the property. He will be the single-family resident. If he sells it after the fact of the project, he is going to be the first owner, and this is going to be where he presides his residence. He told me he has no intention of selling or splitting the lot. 40 acres is a pretty big lot.
That's a lot of ground, that's what I was thinking.
Now, the one thing you got to think about splitting that lot, instead of splitting it thin and narrow to get more lots out of it, it would be easier to split if he was splitting it let's say, east to west to make the lots a little bit more, but the main line only goes by the southern lot at that point. So he couldn't even at this point split that 40 acres.
Right, right. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. So we're looking for the approval of an indemnification agreement between the 29 Palms Water District and the property owner of the said assessor's parcel number.
You need a motion?
It's your turn, Mike.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. So it's moved and seconded. Cindy, can we get a roll call vote?
Director Arthur?
Yes.
Director Coghill?
Yes.
Director Woods? Director Giannini? And Director Leeser is absent.
Item number 4.
Item number 4, the district has requested proposal for the replacement F-150 from the wreck earlier this year. So before you today are 3 proposals from Fiesta Ford, Ken Moran Ford, and Ken Grody Ford. Staff is making the recommendation to accept the proposal from Fiesta Ford at $45,178.90. I just want to bring this up that there is no fiscal impact on the district. This was not in the budget. It was in last year's budget, and this is sitting in reimbursed expense from the accident. So over my spending limit, just wanted to bring it as a board item and still vote on it. So before you today are the 3 proposals.
Yeah, like Matt said, the money was allocated out of the last budget. The truck had an accident, it was totaled, the insurance company's paid us back. We have to get a new one, and now it's coming, even though the money's back in the general fund, we still need to do what we need to do tonight because it's in the new budget era. So, looking for a motion for that.
Well,
I would move to award the bid to purchase the 2025 Ford F-150 4x4 truck to Fiesta Ford.
I second that. That's a good deal.
Any further discussion? Need a roll call vote? Roll call. Cindy, roll call vote, please.
Director Arthur?
Yes.
Director Coghill?
Yes.
Director Woods? Director Giannini? And Director Leeser is absent.
Item 5 has been removed until next meeting, until we have a full board, hopefully at next meeting. Item 6 is a consent calendar. Matters under the consent calendar are to be considered routine and will be enacted in a single motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the board, staff, or the public request specific items to be removed for separate discussion and action before the board votes on the motion to adopt. They include the minutes of the regular meeting held on September 25th, 2024, and the current audit list. So, who wants to approve the consent?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Obviously none. So the ayes have it. And if I get my paperwork right here squared away, where did item 7 go?
We just did
Huh.
6.
You looking for the manager's report?
I have lost my paper.
Well, no, you didn't, because I don't have a yellow number 7. Does anybody else?
7 is if it was removed off the consent calendar.
We go to 8.
So we go to 8.
Okay, skip 7, go to 8.
Okay, item 7, there have been no items removed, so we'll pass that. Item 8, management reports. Maintenance.
Good evening, Board of Directors. The Operation and Maintenance Department performed the following tasks during the month of September 2024. Responded to 56 USAs. We had 8 leak audits, painted 0 fire hydrants, had 35 shutoffs. There were 757 total completed work orders, exercised 148 valves, replaced 9 customer valves. There were 1,380 past due bills totaled $8,841 in penalty fees, and we did have one new service installed and zero mainline leaks for the month of September. And if the board has any questions, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Questions of Superintendent Mantry?
I have none.
Do we have a replacement for Mr. Kearney yet?
I'll go ahead and answer it. It's going to be in my management report, but we are in the process.
Okay.
And we're in the process of looking through apps right now and getting
When does he leave?
he's going to leave in April, and we've got 6 months to be with him training the new mechanic.
Okay.
So,
It was just
and
something
that's
on
been
my mind.
budgeted for as well, just so, yeah.
Any other questions? I'm glad to see we have a whole bunch. Mike, thank you very much.
We'll make sure Randy knows.
All right. 8.2, water quality. Superintendent
Water
Sheldon.
quality report for September 2024, chlorine level in the distribution system averaged a 0.60 milligrams per liter. Bacteria samples, we had a total of 50 routine samples, all came back absent. And fluoride samples, we had 15 samples throughout the distribution system, with the average being 1.6 milligrams per liter. Distribution, we were up compared to the prior year by 4%, but we were down compared to 2013, 10%. Any questions?
Thank you, Robert. Okay, which brings us to finance, 8.3. Cindy?
Good afternoon. The financial statements that you have for this month are for August, which is 17% of the fiscal year. The only thing noteworthy is that we are at, in our net revenues available to fund capital expenditures, we're at 46%, so we're way ahead of the game, but we always are in July. So we always have more water sales in July. However, I will say that again, like last year, we tried to increase our interest revenue budget and our capacity fees budget because we had so many last year, but we didn't go crazy on it, and we're still exceeding that capacity or that amount. So the revenues are looking very good. Part of it too is the timing of certain payments, like the trust payment that'll come later in the year and the debt service payment. So we see things level out a little bit more in December and January. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Cindy, questions?
I have none. Thank you, Cindy.
How is the class account doing as opposed to the LEAF account? Or LEAF account?
The last I looked, the spread was about 1%. So they do expect at some point for it to cross over, where LAIF is going to outperform class, but it's not there yet. So the class account is not decreasing as fast as the rate of return is not decreasing as fast as we thought it would, which is nice.
Yes, it is. Let's hope it holds.
Still saw an increase this month of 30,000. Yeah, an increase still for the month.
Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
8.4, General Manager. You're up, sir.
So this month, the corrections for the lead and copper inventory were given back to the district, and we received them and got them back to the state. So the lead and copper inventory is completed and submitted, and it's 100% done, which was nice. This was a state mandated that I don't believe a lot of districts are really taking serious. So the district has submitted their lead and copper plan. After tonight's approval of the resolution for the local hazard mitigation plan, our local hazard mitigation plan will be in place once it gets signed through the resolution. Wanted to bring that up because those approvals came this month. District is in the process of hiring 3 service worker 1s, 1 mechanic, and 1 customer service rep. And all those positions right now, the 3 customer service rep 1s are all starting in the next few weeks. They've given their 2 weeks. The customer service rep and the mechanic will start to do interviews next week.
Good.
One thing I didn't talk about and probably should have talked about last month was well 14. The rehab that you guys approved on the emergency is back up and running at 600 GPM, which is higher than it was running before. Anytime we do a rehab on a well with new equipment, new pump, new motor, everything does run a little bit better. So we're getting 600 GPM at well 14. Thank you guys for the emergency repairs because it was needed to get that well back up and going. So
No more vibrations?
no more vibrations, and yeah, that was very scary for the guys on pump run that well was shaking. So this past month, the audit team was here, so I just wanted to thank Edie Payne, Brandon's team from Edie and Payne, and Randy Leeser was selected this year to do the interview along with district employees. So I wanted to thank that team for being here for a couple days. So the audit should come to the district in December or January timeframe-ish. Depending on what we need to provide for them, more documentation. In December, NV5 or KJ Engineering has started the groundwater management plan. Mike is getting a lot of information with our results. So some extra money also that we've allocated to KJ's master service agreement. About $75,000 is going to that plan, and we're underway with a lot of information to be given to them. And last and definitely not least, I wanted to congratulate Rob Shelton. There's a new addition to the family, so a new grandbaby, a new baby boy. So I just want to say congratulations, because like I said, if somebody in the district has a kid, it's a new family member to us as well.
Exactly.
And if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
I have a question. The hiring of your new mechanic, having not been here for one of those for hiring like that, can you explain the process that you go through in terms of approval for that position? Is it a position that's approved after interview by the board, or is it someone that is just hired by general management and it never comes before the board?
Yeah, the mechanic position is an interesting position because there's not a lot of districts that really have a mechanic. So we do require certain certifications. We put it internally first, knowing that we didn't have employees that had the certifications. It went internally for a week. It goes out externally after that, looking for certification level. After that, yes, in-house can still apply. You're just looking for the certification level to start the interview process. We didn't get a lot of applicants that were 100% filled out. We put the job, when I say 100%, the application just wasn't complete. We put the job back out to BC Waters, which is a water editorial that only puts out water jobs into industry to try to draw on some other candidates. And I think at that point we started getting more in-house employees interested in the job. So after we go through management goes through the application process, we'll pick a panel of management staff to interview the mechanic and then hire the mechanic. The mechanic or the interview panel will also be with our current mechanic, so we want him involved in helping us because he's going to be on board for 6 months with this gentleman or gentle lady as we make that step to the new mechanic. So it is hired internally, and district's management staff will make that selection.
What certifications are necessary?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I think I can do it from remembering the job description, but I know there's a brakes part of the mechanic, and I can't remember the name of the certification.
Is this an ASE or a different certification?
ASE certification.
It is an ASE certification?
Yes, it is. There's 3 of them, I believe, and I can't remember. Electronics is one, brakes is one, and I can't remember the third one.
That's all right, I was just looking for the type. So
ASE.
it's ASE.
They're
There's a
ASE
specific
certs,
water,
yes, yes,
it's
yes.
ASE.
It's ASE.
Okay,
mechanics, yes.
and you have advertised for this job where?
In the newspaper, social media,
Local
and
newspaper?
local newspaper,
Social media,
social media,
and,
BC Water Jobs.
thank you.
Mhm.
Are these certifications that like Copper Mountain College provides, or are these something that someone would have to go?
You still have to go get state certified for ASE certs.
Okay.
So like our mechanic, even Steve, currently, if he's running due, the district then, because he's our mechanic, will continue to pay for his education to keep those certs current.
The answer, though, the short answer is that Copper Mountain College does provide the training necessary to pass the ASEs. And there are multiple ASEs. I was just wondering if it was ASE, first of all. And second of all, they are renewable. You have to keep them current and renewed. I just wanted to know if that was the certification.
Yes, ASEs, and there's 3 or 4, and I'll get you the names of those.
That's fine.
I'm just asking because I wanted to know if there's a potential for local candidates as part of the pool.
For sure. So again, after it goes in locally or in staff, especially being a union position, as soon as it goes out, yes, exterior is what we're looking for at that point. And it's interesting that the in-house staff put in applications after, but we do have some guys that are interested. And again, I think this small district, we try to promote where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? So let's just say somebody applies and doesn't have the certifications. Well, then in the conditional offer of employment to the employee, we will put that in 12 months, you must have certain certs, including for the mechanic position. So just like a distribution operator, they have a conditional letter of offer that they have so much time to get these certs. It will be the same way if we don't find anyone with the certifications that we're looking for.
But you are looking for someone with current certification?
Correct, yes.
And do you have a salary range?
We do. Anywhere from, and again, it's our service worker 3 categories. The breakdown, the way
That's
are $32 an hour to about 36, but let me, 38 is the top end.
32.53 to 38.42.
Thank you. That's all.
They're classified like A1, A2, and A6 or something like
And I
that.
thought it was A1, A3, A6, but I'll get the certifications.
That's fine. ASE was enough. I just wanted to make sure
They
there
are
wasn't
ASE
any other
certified,
special
yeah.
certification.
So Steve has his badges as the mechanic here at the district, correct?
Thank you.
Any other questions, Dr. Woods? Dr. Leather? Madam President, any other questions?
No further questions.
I have none. All right, thank you all for that. Item 9, the future agenda items and staff tasks, director's comments and reports. Before we run this around the room, future agenda items, let's not forget, item 5 is going to be put up for the next time we have a full board. Now, if that's not happening in November, it's going to relegate to December and so on and so forth, full board. Does everybody understand that? Okay. So are there any future agenda items or staff tasks, director's comments or reports in lieu of item 5? Anything else?
I have nothing.
Cindy just looked that up for us. It is a A1, A6, and a A8 for ASE certifications.
A1, A6, and A8, okay,
Yep.
good. Yeah, I know there's a
Thank
bunch
you,
of them.
Cindy.
Okay, that done. Agenda item number 10 is adjournment. We need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent.